This is my new 1998 BMW E36 323i. Wow, what a tongue twister. Now, if you're subscribed to the channel, you know that I am usually more of a JDM guy, focusing on older Japanese cars, like this. But with this old lady right here, I just had to pull the trigger because I got it for an unbelievable steal. So join me on my journey of restoring this baby to its former glory, and make sure to subscribe to not miss any video on this project. It's gonna be a wild ride. Okie dokie, I'd say let's take a closer look at this thing, because at first glance I gotta say, and I think you will agree with me, this thing actually doesn't look too bad, and you might think I actually struck a pretty good deal with this baby. But it definitely has its problems. Let me show you. Dent, scratch, stone chip, flippity floppity, rust, 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 and of course rust. Jokes aside, it has some issues, but I guess what we're all here for would be this right here. Because thankfully, that's the only part about this car that's actually healthy, which is pretty exciting. I also bought a 316i sedan. And on those two cars, I got a very, very, very good bulk deal. And by the way, leave it in the comments below. What do you think? How much did I pay for this and the 316i? I didn't pick it up yet. I'm gonna pick it up in a few days. Now I will discuss all of the issues this car has in future videos as well, because we're gonna tackle this project step by step. We're gonna take care of the interior, we're gonna take care of the rust, we're gonna take care of the outside. So definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on this restoration project. But for today, let's focus on the small steps, because every time I get a new car, I do 3 important things at the very beginning. Let me show you. Well, the first thing I love to do whenever I get a new car is, first of all, clean them. And I mean, just look at this interior. The owner really didn't take much care of this. There's a complete, well, there's a ginormous hole in this floor mat. I'm gonna remove these and replace them with some new ones, but we're gonna take care of the modifications of the interior in dedicated video for that. So for now, let's clean it. I'm curious what I'm gonna find, because I know the owner, it's a very good friend of mine, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I'm suspecting I will find some interesting things in here. Now I gotta say, the floor mats in the back are actually in pretty decent shape, but I'm gonna throw them out anyways because I want to get some matching ones for the front. Yeah, maybe one of you guys has an E36 and needs some M performance. I don't even know if these are genuine, but if you need them, hit me up. What a mess. Next step before cleaning this interior, getting rid of all of the personal belongings, such as this weird little phone holder. Won't be needing that. Oh. Actually threw it at the window. We also have this kind of, well, ugly radio in here. It doesn't even have Bluetooth, and I think it doesn't really fit the styling of the interior, so I'm gonna replace this with a nice fitting one. This is also connected to this weird little cheapo Bluetooth adapter. Yeah, gonna throw this out as well. Also, it had a subwoofer installed, so this is the subwoofer control, and down there you can also see all of the wires and the cables. Yeah, gonna have to figure out where that goes. Oh, there you go. Shopping cart thing. Here in Germany we have these. You need to insert a coin into the shopping cart to get it. And these are basically just little fake coins, so you don't actually need to spend your real money on a shopping cart. Okay, what do we got in the door card? We got trim. Oh, perfect. That's actually the missing trim for this side, I believe. Yeah. I have to glue this back on or attach it in some other way. I do not know what that is. Oh, sticky tape. Definitely gonna keep this because I do not have clear sticky tape at the shop. This wire's annoying. Let's see what we have in the glove box. By the way, this is also a typical E36 problem. After a while, the glove box just starts sagging like this. I'm gonna fix this once we take care of the entire interior. For now, let's look what we got in here. Some documents, I guess. Oh, wow, and a pine cone. Yeah, just gonna put that back where it belongs. We also got Abrère Magique lavender. I'm just gonna put that back. You never know when you'll need it. Okay, so far so good. We're done in the front, but I'm also just gonna take off these. I think that's a little ugly, to be honest. And this Wonder Tree doesn't do anything anymore anyways. How is that even a attached. Hold up. All right, that's gone. I also just noticed I'll definitely have to replace this shifter assembly. It's completely worn out, and you can see it's just like, now we're in, hold up, second gear, and it's just like wobbling around like crazy. Let me know what you think. Should I put a short shifter in this, or should I replace it with a OEM shifter assembly? Do we have anything below here? No, we don't, just a bunch of dirt. Let's look inside the trunk real quick. First aid kit. That's from a bottle of beer. In Germany, we have this very nice beer that I conveniently also have inside my fridge, and it has this gold wrap around the neck. By the way, if you ever happen to be in Germany, make sure to try this beer. It's really good. Try to hide this cable a little better. Come on. I just want to hide you. Ah, there you go. And just like that, this bright blue cable for the subwoofer is hidden. I really don't know why the previous owner didn't do this earlier. But let me tell you, the previous owner was actually a friend of mine, and she really, I gotta be honest here, she really didn't take care of this car, which is really sad to see. But we're gonna fix the aftermath. Now this wire also just goes beneath this piece of trim right here. Let me see if I can find a better solution for that. What a mess. There are still a bunch of wires left in the trunk. For now, I'm gonna leave these because I don't know at the moment if I'm gonna install a subwoofer in this car or not. So I'm gonna leave them for now, put them away nicely, and just clean this mess up a little better. Poor thing. And would you look at that, everything is nice and clean again. No more cables flying around. Just this positive and negative wire that hook up to the battery just in case. Because as I said, I don't know if I'm gonna put a subwoofer in this car yet, but I'm more leaning towards no. That is done. And now to my favorite part, vacuuming and cleaning the car on the inside. And no, this was not sarcasm, I actually love to do this. Oh, I love to do this. Wow, I've literally just spent 1 hour only vacuuming the interior out, but I think the results really are worth it. But I also gotta say, this was probably the nastiest car I've ever seen in my entire life, and this is why it took me over an hour to clean all of the dirt and dust. And as you can see, this thing is so nice and clean now. Now I'm gonna go over all of these interior bits that are still covered in dirt, the dash, the steering wheel, the door cards, with these handy wipes right here. This is not sponsored at all, but these, I don't even know what makes these so good, but they're covered in some kind of like alcohol or cleaning solution, and these will literally clean up everything because it really makes the dash very shiny again and cleans everything up very, very nicely. Now, there's one more thing I would consider as the interior of a car, which would be the engine bay, because, well, it's on the inside. And since this is extremely dirty as well, let's get this cleaned as well. Oh, that's so awesome. I love these tissues. Now guys, seriously, would you look at that? I think that turned out insane. These wipes are just crazy. This engine bay looks brand new. All of the plastics look nice and shiny again. You can also finally see the beautiful blue color again. All of this was covered in gunk and dust. Now everything is as good as new. Also, all of these cables are really nice and shiny again. And these were literally just the same towels that I used for the interior of the car. Woohoo! Yeah, that looks incredible. All right, now the second thing I like to do when I get a new car is cleaning everything out with additives. By additives, I mean stuff like this. And no, this is not sponsored. This is basically an engine flush that you add to your oil shortly before you do an oil change. And at the same time, I like to add a fuel flush as well. This will basically just clean up your injectors and everything. To be honest, I don't know if this stuff actually works, but I like to do it for good measure anyway. But to do this, we first need to install a new battery because the car actually didn't come with a battery. I got myself a, oh wow, that cut was literally the worst cut ever, brand new battery. Now this is nothing fancy, it's basically just the cheapest battery I could find that fits this car. Come on, thank you. Even this cheap battery will work fine and will do the trick. Just slide this sucker in here, just like that. Perfect. Just connecting a little bracket down there and secure the 13mm locking nut. And that would conclude our battery install. These are the little cables for the subwoofer. I'm just gonna let them dangle down there or something, or maybe underneath this little piece of carpet. They're not connected to anything anyways, neither to the battery nor to any subwoofer or anything. And now I can open the filler cap and put this little additive into the gas tank. Come on. I know these lids are supposed to prevent children from opening these things, but sadly they also prevent me from opening these things. It says press in and turn. Yes. And dump it in. Now for this engine flush, we actually need to add this to the oil, let it warm up for about 10 minutes, and then drain the entire oil. All right, let's take off this. Oh my God. Oh, wow, that was super tight. Now what I usually like to do is give the oil cap a little smell. Seems a little weird, but this way you can actually tell in which condition your piston rings are. Because if your oil smells like gas, that means that the gas in your combustion chamber actually manages to escape your combustion chamber by seeping through the piston rings. This is obviously not the most scientific way to find out, or the most accurate way to find out if your piston rings need replacing, but it's a start. Okay, let's add the magic stuff. Yes. And let it run for about 10 minutes. Woohoo! Listen to that sound. Yeah, but guys, but I gotta say, even though this car is definitely in a rough shape, it just sounds awesome. Let me put my microphone up to the exhaust real quick. Woohoo! All right, let's get this oil changed. And that would be our old oil. As you can see, you cannot really see much because it's just a dark black hole, but if I dab it in to this little tissue right here, you can see, yeah, it's looks like it still has some of its original color left in it. Yeah, doesn't smell too bad, I guess. Now, of course, part of every oil change would also be replacing the old oil filter for a new one. And this time, and no, this is not sponsored again, I feel like this is kind of a theme in this video. I'm only using Liquimoly products here, but it's not sponsored at all. Trust me on that. But with the E36, I'm actually going for 15W40 oil. This is a little bit of a thicker oil that you would usually use on these cars, but since this car already has about 240,000 kilometers on it, which by the way is really nothing thing. For these engines right there, I still want to treat it with some thicker oil. This will just help up the compression a little bit. Not that it has any bad compression in any way, but just as a precaution. Now, the oil filter is actually sitting right up here, which is very, very convenient on these cars. It can be a little bit of a pain to get these caps off. I already pre-loosened it. So now I'm just going to turn this all the way and pull out the old oil filter just like that. Let me show you this real quick. Oh my god, I really hope you can tell. There are definitely a bunch of metal shavings in there. Yeah guys, I don't know, like at the moment I really don't know how I should feel about this because like at one hand, seriously, nothing's wrong with this car. It runs great, it sounds good, it still has a decent amount of power, but like on the other hand, I can see huge metal shavings inside the oil filter. What in the world? Where did they go? Was it just like bubbles? They were like kind of reflective or something? Like seriously, now I cannot find any metal shavings anymore. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I think it was actually just like little air bubbles that were kind of reflective. There's like nothing in there anymore. I guess I'm not gonna complain, I'm just gonna be happy now that there are actually no metal shavings in there. Let's put you right in there. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Let's fill up the oil. According to the workshop manual, this engine actually takes about 6.5 liters. So, that's really an uncomfortable position that I'm in. There's nothing better than a fresh oil change in the morning. Back where you belong. Yes. And we're there. Nailed it. And let's let it run for a few minutes. And of course, whenever you're doing a service on your car, it is not only important to change the oil and the oil filter, but to also check over your spark plugs if they are still good. I'm not even gonna bother doing that because I literally just changed the spark plugs a few hundred kilometers ago for the previous owner, so I know that they are still okay. But it is also always a good idea to change out your cabin air filter whenever you're doing a service on your car. I'm also not gonna do that right now because in the next video, I'm gonna take care of the interior anyways, so I'm gonna put it off until then. But what I can do now is change out the old and nasty air filter for a brand new one. This is definitely part of every good service and you should always do that. Now on most cars this is extremely easy to do. You just need to locate your airbox inside the engine bay, and in case of the E36 this isn't any different. It's super easy to change out the air filter. Just locate your airbox, simply rip out your old air filter, and at first glance this doesn't even look too bad, but once we flip it over we can see this baby has definitely seen better days, which is why we're going to replace it for a brand new one. This is our old one and this is our brand new one. Just like that, you're good to go. And well guys, just like that we got a fully serviced, fully cleaned and super shiny looking E36. And even though we still got a lot of work ahead of us, such as this mess right here, I guarantee this thing is gonna turn out insane. And I think the first thing I'll start with is the interior. And oh, do I have the proper parts to get this interior looking great again.